more to us than the words we say, the games we play. Can we know that we're not dreaming? We have this feeling that we can't explain. Do this every day, but love will find its way. I feel your presence, but I can't help but notice that you are missing where I need you most. I'm so cold inside, but I can't stop this fever. You are a million miles away, but I can still feel you here. These seas will never drown us out. We're in this together. We're in this together. You are a million miles away, but I can still feel you here. These seas will never drown us out. But is there more that we can do? If we really wanted to, can we make this more than a you want me and I want you? But can I swim across these seas? We're in this together. We're in this together. We're in this together. We're in this together. We're in this together, together. We're in together. We're in this together, together. We're in this you are.
Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. So one of the things I've been thinking about doing, so while Jason's on vacation, is dropping in on 2 Hours One Life. Although it sounds like they might be trying to do an update right now, which could make that extra interesting. Ended up doing some testing last week. Found a bug where the camera stuff worked in the 1-to-1 ratio window I was operating in, but not in full screen. Thankfully, that was pretty easy. But running into some 2 hours to tutorials, that the flip command immediately crashed us. And there's probably been some others since then. So the question is, can we get the history of the protocol.txt file? That's probably all stacked git. Seems like a more of a history viewer thing. So we have to do a particular file. It's like we want to do it over particular versions. Okay, touching paths. Okay, flip leader. Uh, 314. Okay, well that would be a new message to the client, so that one. Mm. I mean, that's workaroundable just by restarting. This might be server. I think the short ones are all server to client. That's server to client. That's server to client. Exile list. Well, that's the follower stuff, which isn't even implemented. Exile, okay, that's server to client. Following exiled is implemented through text. 292. Past permanent emotes. Okay, so I guess that's for the specialized biome markers. Bad biome protocol messages, that's server to client. So that's fine. Oh, tattoos and piercings. Well, that's just a time to live. I think somewhere around 260 something. I think that this supported the old format just fine. Baby Wiggle is a server to client message. Posse targeting, posse join, yes, that's server to client, feature specific. Player update changed. I think that probably changed in a compatible way. Learned tool report. Client tag we've already touched a little bit, and I think we might just end up kind of tying it to that. Where are you? 266. This is right around that time. But I think I was able to get through the tutorial, so it's probably fine. So it really is just leader and flip that are problems. No, I should need this. All right, we've got... Yeah. And really, this one probably wants to go back to... like optional client tag or around there. What are we messing around with here? Using client tag. Which we look up on demand. In start connection, which is in game. And the live page is already using it. Oh, so okay, so you were actually, you externed it from there, but it is generally available. Okay. And that's probably a reasonable feature at the moment anyway. Rather than doing individual settings for everything. I could probably push that down later. So the things we are concerned about are flip. Okay, but the protocol doesn't talk in enums. The enum, so yeah, it gets these. Oh, that's the other flip. I need to, yeah, this. Yeah, so this is our patch right now. And then the other one was leader. Shoot, what was the protocol for it? Maybe it's lead? Send to server socket. Yeah, we could only point to this if they were within our current local player range. And follower is just only on screen. So really it is just the message that is an issue. All right. And that's only if you type it. So that's an easier one to avoid. That was more than I wanted. Nice thought, but no. See, I'm pretty sure it's sync. -T target patch. But it's probably the current one. I'm at -T. So below target is below screen edge push. And actually, if I added the player label stuff, that might... Yeah, okay. Sure. That we'd eventually want to publish. Oh, actually, time-based hunger dings is not in a good place right now. I messed that one up. Starvation time? So somewhere I went ahead and put in a food store. Is livinglife.h. Int food store, food capacity. And bonus, all ints. Okay. All right, anywhere we do food store here. Okay, almost anywhere. Although really, if your total food is at least at there, which in many yum scenarios it will be, but... Now, you wouldn't want to rearrange the food values because whether the stomach part is full still determines whether you can eat. Is this? Yeah, that's something else. Yeah, this is time-based anchoring, so it's its own little function. Now what is this? So I did put down some stuff that was based on strict food level. We had some problems with that with the babies, but that's because it was going into... Well, it's challenging because low food could be serious problem, or it could be, well, you're sitting on a fire and you're fine. You don't want it to go bonkers. I should probably at least do a compile check on that. And is server running? Server's running. Export. All right. This is going to be a README update. And this could almost go into disable client tag, but cause the server to boot a client. And did I ever publish this? Yeah, I guess I did. So this would be 67. Now, I guess what I didn't do was go and actually test this. Oh, I'd have to, I think it'll be okay at this point. I'm not as sure about its screen behavior. Should be fine. We'll just turn that off for a minute. So much extra stuff. Our line into tutorial. The flips don't get sent. Leader doesn't get sent. I don't know if I've ever tried doing a filter before touching something before. There was something about use. I think it was specifically when dropping something. Those are the same items, so you can't swap them. That also sort of had to do with drop on ground versus... There's other thing. I think that seems to be okay. Now the help schem's a little messed up. I'm not... That's kind of technically the strings file. So lock new client messages. All right, and I had something else in my notes file, didn't I? Yes. There's a situation. This is really... I'm not sure which patch I want to adjust. Might have to be a little bit with implementation stuff. Yeah, and the double cursors are a little bit off right now. That'll be useful to me later. So if I'm looking for a shovel, and I want to know what I can do with a bow saw, I don't see. So that's either going to interact with that search. Now, I thought that the patch that looked at examine set the current object, but maybe I'm setting it to something that's not filtered by the current tool? Next hint object ID, next hint index. Oh, maybe I'm not doing the hint refresh. Force hint refresh. Well, that might actually overwriting me. It's not invalid. Don't switch if we're already matched. So you did something. And then adjusted learn tools, so I think we saw the change. Yeah, I might have to drop the filter. Don't switch if we're already matched. Let's just remove this entire thing and see if that's it. Okay, that is not it. So without the filter on, we can go around and this will change by itself. Now, is that specific to this patch, which was object search? Or is that any search that's blocking it? Okay, so this might be specific to the interaction patch. Although this is technically interaction refactoring. Well, no, it's interaction keys. I mean, maybe the support code will end up affecting some of that. No, this doesn't really use any of that stuff. So we're changing these. Okay, so this is doing, well, maybe it's this whole thing, because it's not invalid. Oh, we've got another one down here. No, that if it is invalid. So this is kind of an if-else. There's a couple of conditions in this one. But we do have M-force hint refresh. Okay, so that's not sufficient, and I don't think that really changed the behavior either. Huh. Yeah, it does force refresh, but it's still stuck in the filter. And maybe I should do force refresh if you're examining something. Not equal to no. And not that. This is hint filter string invalid, which it would be valid at that point. Change what they're holding. They don't have a filter applied. Oh. Oh, this is if it changed, or hint index changed, or auto hint false. Or they just hint tab. Interesting. All this does is hide pointer. Okay, that kind of auto hint. I might need to cancel the filter string. This might actually be a get num hints thing. Well, these are the things we changed. Oh, wait a minute, we set index. Looks set to -1 or something? Or did we not change that? Next hint index. M hint bookmark C dest ID. Do we have that for any object? M current hint object ID. Now it tends to only do that if the string's invalid. This seems like it may have been a thing I extracted. In which case... Oh, this is for object interaction. Oh, but it's exactly where we use it. Wait, so this does that. Oh, that's IK use, not IK examine. Does using give us different results? Well, okay, now yeah, maybe that was a first action thing. So examining doesn't give us it. Okay, pickup doesn't. Oh. So using when there's a transition does do something. With an empty space near an object. This is all empty space. What, is that right? No, that's not right. It's like, why are we sending messages here? If we're holding something, which is not the general case here. But it's just object ID and, well, is sent filter string invalid. Which is kind of the condition we're hitting here. That's just auto hint. That's setting the bookmark to this index. Next hint object ID. Not invalid. Now these show pointers. Hide last sheet. Man, there's so many places can get messed up. It seems like it has to do with the filter string because it's, and unfortunately it's invalid, which makes the logic a little convoluted. But we also changed current index and next hint index. So that would check. I guess this case would fire? So I guess what we really have to do, well, if it's invalid, just to make sure that that's part of it. Okay, we do have making shovel, and that's not necessarily part of it. Maybe it's filter string no match. We're setting it, we're testing it there, we're setting it, we're testing it there. That's the same filter test. Last hint filter string, maybe that's actually what we end up using. Which is kind of looking that way. If the filter string is not equal to null, we're probably going to do this instead of something else. Oop. So the easy way to do this is just to cancel our search whenever we examine something. I could see times we'd be trying to examine stuff while working something out. Okay, so since we did the other case and we have a string, I guess it counts that as no filter match. This might be a translate making. Is it last hint filter string that gets the no filter match? M hint filter string. Maybe you type it in and then it does it no filter match. Now I also changed this in what? Filter matches product. Oh, and there was mod logic. Did I series pass this? Oh, I did. So we've got that. We've got object search. Well, I'm very often doing those things for object search rather than filter. So maybe this is where we have to look at, it's a different mode. It was cute to put it all together. But I know that like Hedaway does like colon. Okay, location slip is a search. Next in object ID 0. Oh, you know what? I might have to duplicate a bunch of stuff though. Because this is actually not going to interact with the hint system. Yeah, well, that's in get num hints. What do I depend on? Last hint filter string. I don't know that it would really depend on anything else there. It's just that it updates at the same time. Find in map, label search, remove search location slip. Search, search, search. Probably the biggest annoyance here is that well, it's not necessarily a custom text box. We just have to add that as a custom input character, which might be a challenge because I don't know that you can type colons currently. I know Jason uses it in some protocol stuff. All right, looks like this might turn into a bigger project than I was hoping. Which is a shame because I did want to get to some of the camera stuff. All right, also, I have no need to change characters right now. Yeah, okay, so this box, I don't know if it supports, if it has the character. No. Actually, oh, I probably have to like back. No, 'cause it's a forward slash. Well, but it's the search character. Current text, typing a filter. Say field is focused. Set text. Well, that might override any type filtering. But I don't know if we even have that character in the font. Yeah, that seems to be confirmed. We can try to find the font, but maybe there's some post filtering as far as what displays. Like that is a different font. It does have a colon though. That's what we're looking at. Font handwriting. Oh, yeah, there's font handwriting and there's font pencil. So, okay. So this one has a colon, so that might be some post filtering. And this one has a colon. So I'm not sure which one the say box is using. Yeah, there's a few more characters here. They both got slashes. All right, so that's like the underlying implementation, but I would still expect it to show up where we are drawing it. Cur text. Oh, this would have to be in draw, right? Are those the allowed characters? And it's handwriting font, which does have those characters. Okay, so it's uppercasing it. This is draw. Yeah, this is all the erased stuff. That's going to be something else. So I suspect... So the quick test for this is to update this. And the problem with that is that that might influence the characters you could technically send. Which would probably just be ignored by the server. Okay, that is in fact... Okay. So there's the characters you can enter, and then there's the characters that will actually show up. Now, one thing I might want to be a little bit careful with is that I know sometimes he uses colon for certain metadata stuff. Well, I don't think that'll be an issue. So that allows you to put that as a leading character. Presumably the server... Oh, and we are still patches. Yes, that's allowed to say character map. Oh, it's allowed to say cars. He's going to use the map. Place non-allowed characters. So that's pretty much before he does anything with it. All right. That changes the cap so it can be used at any age. All right, this is just adjusting the length. There's no other effects there. A command, don't send to server. Now, the amount of other stuff that happens here is why I was kind of worried about separating this. Check if it's an emote, check if it's FPS, check if it's net, check its ping command, leader command. This might give me another place to implement the search, actually. Unfollow command, order command, else send to server. Does this remove all slashes? Oh, so that was that send to server. Send chat phrases. All right, if it's empty, just unfocus. If it is command, else spoken text, not a command. Oh, and then check for order. Okay. So we would do a separate little block here, essentially. All right, so we want, else it's a filter hint, so it's going to be very similar to this. So I guess one thing I'm going to kind of lose is the visual feedback that I'm searching for something. So all this does is capture the string. I might... I forgot about that. Might be able to just do the search. So we need locally to trim it at least. And then where did we actually do the lookup? So sought objects, remove search location slip. Okay, so the one nice thing about this is that, oh no, if we do a blank string, it would still do the cleanup, I think. And we had 2 spaces below this. Now, it was M last hint filter string. So we're going to capture a string that's hint filter string. How is that different from M hint filter string? When we do get num hints, it lets us do a same filter check, which probably short circuits all of this processing. But he quite casually calls get num hints, I think, and then just lets it cache itself. So I am going... Do I need someplace to store this? And I really need to remember to use marks. Okay. We do a search. Well, I probably want to display what I'm searching for somewhere. I don't need the number of objects. So I don't think I need like the change detection system. We would have something we'd have to delete. Not blank. So this would be like Trimmed, 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 delete trimmed. All right, so that will take care of... All right, that's set to null. That cleans this stuff up if it changes. Now, oh, filter command. Well, filter command is just slash, so that technically still works. Oh. I'm also using... what's the patch order on this? I'm also using that same system for player search. Player search was next, so we could redo this to depend on that. That was probably another thing in getting them hints. That's a livinglife.h. And last, it's waiting to be shown in hint sheet 4. Hint filter string no match. So we have to find, is it m hint filter string? Okay, that's our initializer. And this is also technically hint stuff. Yeah, it's tutorial stuff. Just using the hint sheets. This is the destructor. And I think everything else is going to be regular old code. And then what we don't have right now is a way to display it. Oops. Okay, that was like just a warning, but probably something a little off. So just parentheses. That's actually a good. That's actually a good little error there. I was not paying attention to my conditions. I think that filter limit has been a problem on occasion. Now I have no display feedback for this right now. I'm about to pick something that I know is up. Okay, and this added benefit is we won't have two arrows going on because you're also triggering the hint system at the same time. And we can clear it. Cool. Now, well, so first of all, yeah, my algorithm does not, my name completion doesn't pick that up as a possible leading character. So if I switched that to player search as well, then maybe I could go back and allow that to be a leading character. Or maybe just like a non-alpha character, instead of looking for definite spaces. All right, so that will be a point to test. And that's probably publishable. What does player search look like? Right, we had the player track. That's key down. And that's what we removed. I actually forgot I had the click on person version of that. Wait, I thought I did a thing that was by filter. That only seems to be filter string and key down? Oh, because it's checking the filter. Now I had, okay, I had removed this code. So this is just another thing given a filter string. Now, I guess the one disadvantage of this is that it makes it fully dependent on the previous patch. Oh, this is going to be actually a very similar else case. Because we have to say, well, was it a player? So we kind of need trimmed filter string. I guess that means we're going to clear an object search if we had one. Oh, I never did feedback. Well, I'll have to do testing first. If it's not blank, yeah, so this is basically that. No, I won't actually need another person to test this. All right, you're still around. Hunger is super low. You have a name. Oh. Wait. Is this still edge push? Oh, I turned it off in settings. That's right. No, not graphics. All right. So you need to drop. Be easier from the other one? Okay. We've got a person pointer over there. What affected name completion? That would probably be general name assist. Yeah, kinda. That's what I was looking for. No partial name to work with. is that name detection? So those things are all space. Search or string. Is that reverse character? So it's looking specifically for the last space. So is there like a similar functions? Okay, characters in string. Stir pbrook. This might only be first occurrence. The characters to match. Yeah. So either I'd have to do multiple searches. Oh yeah, that doesn't consider the possibility that you would. Well, no, it would turn the entire string. So this is actually before the other patches. It's not aware of them. It's like I don't have a filter string that I know I can remove a character of and then call it. This is just name completion within a buffer. So I might need to do my own little function that's like last non-alpha character. All right, well, these are all caps, so I'm assuming that we're only dealing with caps. uh, let's see, do we have any other things? That are already doing string? Yeah, we use lots of comparisons and other things that take care of the ugly details for us. Wait, is that? Right. Given a string, is there a name that continues it? But it doesn't work with the candidate string. Well, that returns the entire string, and then this thing will not see that that's an invalid character it needs to remove. So do we fix this here? Or do we just like remove non-alpha characters from the candidate string? Well, it's a stern comp, so we'd have to be doing some adjustments. If I didn't put the character into the box, we'd have to like somehow keep a mode that we're like in this special thing. And then we'd have just a plain old string. Still, this is probably a better completion. It's just you always get nervous about doing loops with memory. We have a text length. So we could search forward, and the last character we found would be it. Or we could search, since we already have a length. So that starts at text length. Now text length, let's see if it's a length 0 string. Text length will be 0. We don't actually want to look at 0 though. Or maybe the end condition. No, because you don't want to do that iteration. We do it while we can look at 0. Actually, it'd be greater than equal to 0. We used to be getting name text as a string pointer to the incidence of the last non-character. So we could actually remove the +1 if we recorded the last alpha character and then bailed when there was a non-alpha character. In string I, greater than or equal to A. Less than or equal to Z. Pretty sure that's our limit. Then, that's interesting. If it's a non-alpha character, we break. And then you don't need a +1. Actually, we're in a function. We could even do that. And then if we get to the bottom of this loop without finding anything, that's our point. Which case, I don't need a name text. Well, it would be I plus 1, and there's still the condition. We don't use name text. If it was a non-character at the first loop, it would return. You know, if they did this when there was a non-character at the end, it would return null. Well, that would be no. That would be the equivalent of nothing found. But in nothing found, it's supposed to return in string. Alright, it could be made shorter, but it works. Unused variable. So we typoed something here. Oh. Pff. Did I start typing something else, then convert it into... It probably... Invalid conversion from const char pointer to char pointer. Right. There's whether the pointer is constant, whether it's pointing to const. And I can never keep which is which straight. Unused variable. Oh, did I declare this? Oh, I did declare this up here. All right, and this was name completion, which I never... So that's not a valid character, but... Okay. And then I can complete from there. I can complete from there. There's no names that complete from high. So if we go back to I mean, we want to... I don't know if I'm going to get to any of this today. Let's... I'm trying to think if there's anything quick I could do on the screen stuff. I kind of wanted to rearrange it so that you could kind of tweak it off to the side and then maybe have it leave it there. Right now it's either you're moving the cursor or you're moving pointer. Okay. Okay. Why can't I search for you? Well, the name completion part works. And that part works. Okay, track works. Although now we've got 2 pointers going on. Oh, you know what? That probably needs to clear player search as well. Well, it's a temporary pointer. In theory. But why does that not find somebody? Do I still have this one? Not really. That suggests we did not get a name match. All right, so a living match for S. Or maybe the problem is that did it short circuit on finding a matching object? Living match. Oh, nope, that's an all. Huh? So we have several objects. Iterating the game mouse really shouldn't be null. So we're doing a bunch of math. We are assuming it's the last thing. So we've got text length, name length, I mean, in string should be the same thing that we printed above. And then there's a string compare. Which, I mean, in theory, we can work out the math from there. What did I typo here? Chart pointer name. Okay, we did not. Maybe I don't need to do -1. Maybe that would be a minus. That would be a less than or. Game object size is 2. So it would start at 0. Would go to 1. It would not be less than 1. Did I just make this up, or did I find this loop somewhere? Okay, that's a loop going the other way. Other way, other way. There's lots of loops going the other way around here. Interesting. Well, all of the ones that do -1 are there. So that suggests all right, we removed it from ours. Is that living name match? Yes. Huh. So that's just a straight up bug. Okay. Is there anything I can fix here? I was thinking of maybe changing it to bounds a little bit. Or the different like you've got static mode, you've got moving mode, and you've got camera mode. But exiting the camera always just resets your position, which makes sense here. But maybe we just want to reset it to like view bounds, like we might have used in camera. Left limit, map left limit. No, it's the update, view left limit. So when walking, it's that. When camera, it's that. Did I remove the old limits I was using for screen push? Well, this is a modification on screen push. I might eventually rewrite that a little bit. Okay, so I already adjusted screen push a bit. In fact, oh, that's right, I made screen push be unlocked so that I could do this. And then I might end up kind of verging this back, which means screen push would no longer have its natural limits. So what I would do, let's see, are these, okay, those are not the moving movements. So if I do this, I think that's it. And then the camera's doing other stuff. So if we make those bounds conditional on camera mode, it would still default to these bounds. And then I might want to do something later with like sticking at a relative camera position. Yeah, okay, so those are the character on screen bounds. So if we do now, when we turn free camera off right now, we do that to get us back in view. And that was just kind of a get something working I threw in at the end to a certain extent. Okay, so this can go, and then this. Interestingly, well, okay, so I might be underneath my folder. That doesn't quite get us back. Isn't that interesting? Oh no, that was no, 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 no. It's like it kind of brings us back. But the actual effective limits are different. I wonder if there's some interaction there with the pointer centering. But like it's trying to move us out. Maybe there's something that's not like fully processing this. Maybe it has to do with which way we're moving the camera. Maybe the amount of adjustment speed is like dividing down to 0 at a certain point. It's like we're almost there, but we're not actually on screen. But I mean, these feel like hard set limits. All right, so what would happen? Yeah, that doesn't feel the same as our moving limits. That is... Well, okay, so when it's doing this, it set these limits and it does an offset. Screen center player offset. Oh no, we've got an equals 0 case in the... Okay, well that's dead code. Move scale, current move direction. This is probably all... Oh. Where's the moving check? So we're always doing this. There's not like a we are moving check. Screen target, screen center player offset, target object position, and then we just throw it away if we're not moving the camera. Oh, and there's an entirely separate process when you're moving. So this actually doesn't make a difference. Not the difference I thought it did. Shoot. I did a version of the camera pan. Why do we get different results when snapping back versus moving out? Maybe... No, because that was dead code. I was doing the 0 checks. Maybe there is a 0 somewhere. Oh. Well, that's when moving. So some of that stuff is not relevant here. So that's the push out in front. So when I just did camera push, oh no, here there is an else if here. If camera follows object X and XD, so if you're moving. Okay, so these limits are relevant. But we're not moving. So why don't we snap all the way back when we return the camera? Maybe it has to do with how the actual screen adjustments work. Because this is just setting the offset. Oh. Screen target position. Which looks like it might just come down to dir. If you change set last screen view center. Move step. Max R. Max R seems to be 0. Camera follows object. Oh. Well, no, there's a 0 check. Oh, max RX. If it's greater than this, so we'd want to make this smaller. So that only adjusts if there is, that might be hard to work with. Segmentation fault. I guess my hunger is still too high. Which is a shame because that was kind of a nice place to be lengthwise. But it's obviously not dying of old age because people do that all the time in the main server. All right. Well, that was a bad direction to go. Okay, that gets us closer to back to ourselves. Seems kind of okay otherwise. So this is like don't make small movements. I mean, that's probably excessive. Maybe what that does is it gives you a little bit of space to maneuver where it doesn't jerk the camera around. Yeah, there's still a little bit of adjustment. Now, it's possible that our limits were set to exactly place you on that edge. And for whatever reason, that worked with the old screen push. It's like you could kind of push up to there and up to there, which put you in the no move limit, whereas on this side, we're actually getting no move this way. But if we move the edges in, then moving this way is going to stop even sooner, because it'll have the no move range plus the adjusted range. So there's the target location, and there is how we move towards the target location. So probably, does it make sense to move these? I may have actually separated this when I start doing the screen edge push stuff. And maybe there's some individual tweaking. Oh, I've still got the adjustments here, which what was it? You. Wait, did I try that and then find that it still didn't do it? Okay, so bottom could maybe be a little bit less. But that is going to be our no move defaults, which if I put camera push back on, will end up, well, I guess I'm kind of done with that feature. Now, something else I want to investigate, if there's some way to do like a relative screen lock. Now, I guess I could switch to this kind of screen lock, and maybe that would suffice for fighting bears. Oh, that's all right. I also wanted to check. Yeah, now you see this is insufficient for screen push because of that no move zone. So this is actually the opposite of what we want, really. No, these are the basic limits we want with screen edge, but it's currently my int declarations. So we'd have to flip all that around. And the screen edge patch might have overridden that. Indeed, yeah, those things didn't even exist before. Okay, so you've got good limits. You've got kind of okay limits. It wouldn't be as nice in numbers if we tweaked those any. So this is kind of the screen edge push change. And I was thinking of compressing them down. All right, anything else? We locked that to free camera, which actually is part of free camera. Actually, we just remove this for now. And then that becomes not a thing. Build is going to be a little bit of a problem here. All right, so this became conditional. So we added all this stuff to extend the limit, and I'm not sure that if you want to apply this limit, and we stop using the camera. And then like all the grid tracking stuff kind of moved here as well. We still want to override this while moving. So we've got this weird thing where we want U to be, or the defaults to be 6.5. Then if we're pushing, we go down to there. And then we put them back if we're moving. It's kind of like if the camera is moving. Does this actually move down to like kind of an else case of the screen move? Then we just don't override it there. If you're pushing, yeah, if I do it anywhere below here, then hitting the edge of the screen will affect your camera snapback. Well, if you're that put to the center of the screen, so it's kind of okay. This would also override the limits while moving. If you did it, no, because it would do it if not moving. I was thinking moving it down where we do the other screen push stuff. But that could override moving or not. I almost want to just have a place where we determine limits. But we've got this condition. Well, I guess those are only incidentally the moving limits. Far look. Oh, but that, since that stuff becomes modified by free camera, it starts to become, well, I think this kind of becomes a camera control patch in the long run. Today I just need to finish something and try it out. . . 。  . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And this is what I get for not checking it. I didn't want to deal with some of the dep file changes. That should be an easy one. Oh, yeah, we no longer have super hunger. Maybe I should move the lower limit of hunger up towards the upper limit of hunger, so it's at least don't talk about getting to rest and stuff. Our carrot testing stuff. And then we look around, and it comes back to show us on screen while still... Whoa, we're right near the edge there. That's interesting. And we had screen pushback on, just... because we had to test it. So actually that default may have to change at some point. We merge the patches back down. But that might be reasonable. And then screen lock might take care of some of the things I wanted to do, where I would like adjust the relative position to the character. But I would want that to probably be at least constrained on screen. But that's a different kind of camera lock. Don't move the relative position, but do have the camera continuing to follow the center, which, given what we just found about nearness to zone, might actually be extra challenging. Anyway, I'm overdue for lunchtime. I guess what what else did I change? I'd actually have to put it up there and diff it, I think, to... Oh, yeah. I mean, this is almost... And that would be a problem if we actually tried to commit that, which still requires README update as well. Camera stuff probably gonna be a total rewrite. I mean, these are probably actually more likely to go out in a small patch. It's the camera control, which I think is okay by itself. But I still need to do the export for this if everything works out. All right, it's lunchtime. I keep forgetting I have to log into this thing again. I'm gonna have to. Probably something I was doing with my other extension development. Do we have anything to recommend? There's actually not a whole lot of code going on this morning. Well, looks like Tim Bedaux's doing some game stuff. He's writing script. I don't know if that's like, oh, script for YouTube videos. Well, anyway, he does a bunch of game dev. Apparently, he's on his 100th game. So if it was someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye, and until next time.